Hello, this is Marco Harold from Pooh Bear Baits. How y'all doing? Hey, I'm going to do a review on another airbrush. Same thing, PointZero. And this is what it looks like in the box as it comes. It's got an extra, it's a 2mm 0.2, excuse me, nozzle. Comes with an extra needle, 0.2, an extra 0.3 needle and nozzle. Of course, quick disconnect and all that. Really nice airbrush for less than 28 bucks. It's got the 7cc cup, I think. 7 or 9, I'm not sure. Anyway, brand new in the box. And I got one. It's already, I bought two, so I already got one. I got one here. And that's in my vise. I'm going to try to do the same things I did the 0.2mm one. I converted this 0.5mm. I already polished the needle, put a polished needle in a 5mm or 0.5mm nozzle. It's basically the same as the 2mm I call the detail brush. Same brush, just a different cup. That's all it is. You know, it's no big deal. And this is my workhorse. I'm gonna tell you right now, I use the crap out of that brush because most of my paints I spray is, sprays well out of this. I don't do a lot of craft paints and that. I do mostly airbrush friendly paints, but I can do it. And I'm doing this in 0.5mm for the unfriendly paints. Anyway, I'm going to do a breakdown and all that like I normally do. And that I'm going to just, and bear with me here. You know, I can't see my camera, so I'm going to try to keep it, where you can see what I'm doing better than last time. And all I'm going to do, I'm not going to break it down totally because you can look at my last video on a 0.0, same brush, same everything. Of course, the needle protector cap, and this is the nozzle, or the nozzle air cap for the nozzle. Nozzle's underneath this, and this goes into the body. And then, of course, the needle stop, tailpiece, trigger. I'm going to break it down for new folks, you know, that want to get into airbrushing for hobbies, whether it's painting models or painting lures or whatever. Just a little bit, so it's friendly. Got to bear with me because it takes me time to do something. Okay, as we discussed with the other airbrush, there's an O-ring in here, and if I take this tail piece off right now, let me get out of the camera for a little bit. You can see it comes off, like it's supposed to. This middle piece right here doesn't unscrew. When this unscrews, it exposes all that assembly. You don't want that to unscrew if you're just going to play with your needle. And when that O-ring's in here, it will always unscrew that piece. So I take that O-ring off. And let me show you on this one. If I take this off, oh, the sucker didn't do it. But normally, that piece does not. That piece unscrews with that piece because of that O-ring. So, first thing I do is I take that O-ring off. Not a biggie. Take it off and put it back to the side so I don't lose it. All right. First thing, and now I leave it off. And when I said earlier in the video about that 0.2, this to me is a three-piece airbrush, meaning you got the body, you got this middle piece, and you got the tail piece. And when I say about that middle piece, let me take the needle out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, the middle piece is right here. This screws into the middle piece. So if I unscrew that middle piece, all this comes out. And you don't want that. When you're cleaning your needle or doing whatever, you want that tail piece to come off only, not this on this airbrush. So when this middle piece comes out, it'll have all the apparatus for the trigger. Got to bear with me because All right, I can get it out now. I got to put in that vise because I don't have two hands. If I don't put in that vise, then it totally screws me. So be it. I say this middle piece holds, and it holds all the pieces together. And I mean, my talon ain't like that. My talon is to see, here it is. See, that comes off. You got the trigger spring, and trigger spring tensioner comes off. And of course the trigger is going to come out. And that's what that middle piece does. So this has to connect this to this. Connects this to this. And that's why it's difficult. When you unscrew this, you don't want this to come out. So get rid of the ring. Get rid of it totally, throw it away. It's not needed. This is a 3-piece airbrush because it's got a middle, a front, a middle, and a back right here. Okay. Just like that one. No different. Same freaking one. Same pieces. But the reason I bought this because I wanted to see if these pieces fit this. And it does. Everything 100% same. This is the only difference is the bolt. Because it is somewhat harder to find. I can find needle and nozzles, but I couldn't find this piece here that the nozzle goes into. This piece here, basically, that is a 2mm nozzle. You got the needle protector, then you got an air cap, then you got a nozzle holder, all in one thing. Of course, it's got a sleeve there. Let me see. You got a sleeve there. Everything for that goes into the airbrush. Okay, now I've already, believe it or not, I've already lubed all this stuff and I made it 0.5. I'm not going to do that in this. But here's what I'm talking about, the piece right here. I'm sorry if I get out of camera because I can't see it. That piece there is what makes both pieces go together. It's basically a union, I guess. I don't know. But that piece in the side of it, I'll take it off. Bear with me. See, I'm unscrewing that piece out of it. So that piece unscrews. And that's the middle piece. And this is what gives tension to the spring for the trigger. And that goes in the middle. So basically this goes in the middle. A normal airbrush, this here is made into this. So you don't need that. Anyway, I'm trying to explain it the best I can. So basically that's it tore down other than the front, and you don't need the front tore down. It's actually a well-built airbrush. I'm surprised. The bowl, if you can see the bowl, nice and shiny, good chrome job. It's really a well-built airbrush. I'm telling you right now, I'm impressed with this thing. For this airbrush with everything came less than $20. This one was less than $25. I mean, come on, man. You can paint all the lures in the world with these two brushes. All right, now I want to put it back together just a quickie. And I'll try to explain it. It may be off camera. I'm going to try to be on camera. But I don't know if I will be. Who knows? This is weird as I got to do things. Anyway, this is just white lithium grease. That's all this is. White lithium grease. And what I'm going to do, two things I'm going to do actually. This is just a, as it says, a Lucas oil, a Lucas gun oil. No big deal. Now I am going to lube that trigger assembly. Okay, that's where this part of the trigger goes into. It's got a trigger like an Iwata. It's got that little dangly thing. And I'm also going to take that dangly thing and dip it in white grease. Just like that. I don't care how much. And what this does, it lubricates and protects. So if you ever, this back seal leaks, get paint back here, your paint will not set up hard. I may have to pull this out of the frame for a minute. All right. There, it's in there. Remove the grease. Okay, next, I'm going to put this thing on, the middle connector. I'm going to put it in the back. I usually put a little bit of lube on that. So I'm going to start the threads. Kind of working upside down, so bear with me here. All right, there it is. I am going to put a little lube on that, just a little. Run that in. All right. Now I'm going to snug it. I do not want that to come out when my tailpiece comes out. It's got to stay there. Okay, so I snugged it. Oh, I pulled my trigger out, dang it. It don't matter, I'll put it back in. Just got to bear with me. I'm working, trying to keep you in frame, but I'm going to pull out so I can get that down straight. Bear with me. Heck, that thing's kind of a pain in the butt, but I got to get it. All right, I got it. All right, I got that in now. Trigger's in again. And so what I'm going to do is, this is the tension rod. Of course, you put it in, you put that top like that goes in the gun like this. You got to hold that down. It goes in just like this. And that top gives you tension to the trigger. I'm going to grease it. All right, now I'm going to put it in. This part, you know, like these are cheap air guns. They're less. That's why this part seems to be flimsy. And it is flimsy for the price of the air gun. Nope, that ain't going to go. I got to take that out. I'm sorry. That has got to come out. This is going to be a kind of a, it's difficult sometimes. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, now try to keep it in frame here. This goes in like this against the trigger. Just like that. Okay. Now I can put this piece back on. There we go. Okay, that piece is back on. As you can see, trigger tensioner's in. That middle section that holds it all together is in. I'm going to snug it. Okay, now I'm going to try to keep you in the film here. Well, I'm going to do this first. Lube my tensioner from my spring. It's my spring. Now this piece here is really, really long. This is the piece that puts tension on the spring, which puts tension on the trigger. Let me get started first so I can. All right. Started. Just a little bit. All right, I'm going to run this all the way down. I'm sorry if my hands is in the way, but this is the only way I can do it. All right, it's bottomed out. Trigger spring tension. Okay, bottomed out. All right. Now, normally I put a mark here, and so I know what's top dead center. Then, and I back this off 2 full turns. Actually, on this gun, or that gun over there, I do it 4 full turns. So I'm just going to estimate. I'm not really into it right now. Anyway. All right, so that's the tension I like on. It's really simple, really easy. This has got a lot of adjustment. This is why this gun really works out well. Put the needle in. Okay, as you can see, it's in there. Put a lube on the needle. All right, twist, rotate, and push in as I twirl it in. All right, needle's in. Put the needle chuck on. That's it. And the last piece is right here. That's it in a nutshell. Of course, your needle stop. Of course, your trigger, obviously. Your air valve. You got a MAC valve, which to me, a MAC valve is useless. I haven't seen anything that I can say it's worthy to have on. It's just a hair of an adjustment. I mean, a hair makes a big difference. Same as this. A hair makes a big difference. I mean, these, to me, should be a micrometer type setting because it takes little or nothing to change. I'm serious as a heart attack. And now if I want to take my tailpiece out, I can do it and it doesn't separate the 2 pieces together, see? That O-ring is totally worthless. Well, I'm going to probably do a test shoot on how it sprays. It's going to spray the same as this one, or the same as my 2cc bowl. It's exact same gun. All the parts fit, same body, same tailpiece, same needle, same everything. Nothing's different. Parts do interchange, which I'm glad because, you know, now I know there's a supply of parts out there for it. I do suspect that this will really shoot good. Well, if you're new to the hobby, you don't want to spend a lot of money, I definitely recommend this PointZero. I do. It's nice breath, man. I'm telling you. Works out good. Well, thank you. Y'all, if you're just getting into this, cheap alternative to spend a lot of money. If you don't like it, you can, you ain't out a lot. Both these brushes, which I consider a detail in a like a base coat cover, do base coats. Anything above a detail, this will work fine. For under, what, $60. And they work great. Polish the needle, lube the gun up, and it's wonderful. Okay, y'all take care. And you have a good new year. Marco out.